All right, physics. We are talking about Ohm's law. If you remember watching the videos yesterday, we saw at the end of that crash course one, they did a little bit of math stuff and they were looking at Ohm's law. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about Ohm's law, and we'll get you a chance to do some practice. It's a pretty easy little formula because Ohm's law is just our voltage that we have is equal to the current times the resistance. Now, if we fit this into a triangle, that's the easiest way I like to do this, and I know a number of you have done fairly well when we put things into triangles. The V is going to go on the top, the I is going to go here, the R is going to go there. Okay, so voltage is equal to current. Okay, so our voltage is equal to our current times the resistance. Now if we look at this, we should talk a little bit about the units that we expect to see. So voltage is usually in volts, and we usually symbol it with just a V. So there's our volts. Current, we remember this is from our video, we saw this as an amp, okay, or amperes. And it's weird because current is with an I, not with a C. So that's kind of one of those things that you don't want to get confused. And then we get our last one, which is resistance. And resistance is the weird one because this is what we measure in ohms. Okay, so ohms is actually the unit. And the symbol is weird because it's a Greek letter that looks like this. This is the omega. So that's the symbol that we see. And then we see our amps and we see our volts. So that's kind of our three symbols that we look at. Now, if we're going to do any kind of a solving of this, we cover up our I. If we're looking for current, it's just volts divided by the resistance. And if we cover up the R, it's volts divided by current. And we cover up the V, it's just current times resistance. Remember, this is the times and this is the divide. Okay? So that we can set up and do these with the triangle. Now, when I do problem solving with this, the first thing that I like to do is this. This is going to be our method because there's three variables. We're going to list out a V, an I, and an R, and we'll put equal signs. And then we usually look at this and say, well, which one's going to be the question mark? So I like to put the question mark in first, then find the numbers that go with them. And again, we're looking at units as a way to kind of pick those out. So that's going to be our kind of setup. You'll want to make sure you have this in your notes so that you can then work on some of these problems. And so let's go ahead and we're going to work together on these problems. So let's do the first thing. We're going to do a V, an I, and an R, and we're going to list those out. And it says how much current, okay, so current's the question mark, is in a circuit that includes the 9-volt battery, so 9 V's, and a bulb with a resistance of 3 ohms. Okay, so there's our voltage and our resistance. We're looking for the current. So if I go back again, my current is the voltage over the resistance. So I'm going to write that down. So current equals voltage over the resistance. So this is my equation that I'm going to work with, and now I'm just going to set it up and solve it. So I equals 9V over 3 ohms. And so 9 divided by 3 equals 3, and this is going to be amps. Put a box around it, and I can move on. But you do need to show all these steps when you're working through these. So again, show this step right here, so identify the givens and the unknowns. Show me the equation that you're going to set up and solve. Okay, so go ahead and finish this up. When you're done with this, you're going to take and put a picture of this into Google Classroom and then click that it's been turned in. All right, good luck, and make sure that you complete your tasks for the day so you're ready for tomorrow. All right, see you tomorrow.